that's live. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to FOC Roundup Live. It is Thursday, February 25th. As you can see on the screen right here, all of the stuff that we're going to talk about is due Sunday, February 28th for DC books, or Monday, March 1st. It's already March for everybody else. So hang tight, watch this short intro, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this week's FOC. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Like I said earlier, welcome to the FOC Roundup show. This is a show that we do every week to talk to you about titles, books, covers, exciting things that are on Final Order Cutoff. That's our last chance as a comic book store to change our order numbers before the books actually show up to us here at the shop. It usually happens about a month, 3 to 4 weeks before the books arrive at our doorstep. So it's important to you because we're trying to give you the tools that you need to order the comics that you want to order, whether it's through us as a store or your local comic shop, wherever it is that you live. It's just an extra tool to keep you aware of things that are happening and stuff that's going on to make life a little easier. That way you don't walk into your comic book shop the Wednesday that this stuff's supposed to come out and it's already sold out, or it's selling for more than cover price because of market value. So that's why we do this show. So all this stuff that you see behind me right here is on our website. If you go to hallofjusticecomics.com and click on the blog that's right there above the word orders, you will see this write-up. I do this write-up Wednesday night after I get home. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not, because all of the covers aren't necessarily in from the different publishers. Their deadline is Friday morning. So we try to get ahead of this a little bit, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, for example, this morning I got an email from Image that they were adding crossover second prints for number 1 and number 3 to this week's FOC, but that wasn't in the write-up last night, so I had to edit that this morning, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. The takeaway here is that everything that you're going to see on this FOC, if it's a DC book, it is due to your local comic shop Sunday, February 28th by 11 a.m. Mountain Time here for us. That way I have plenty of time to sit down and put the orders in and make sure the books are allocated to people. Check with, if we're not your local comic shop, check with your local comic shop to see when they would like you to have your orders in. But Sunday is the cutoff for DC. Monday is the cutoff for everybody else. So Marvel, Dynamite, Image, Dark Horse, Boom, everybody but DC is due Monday, March 1st. And again, we say by 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That way we have plenty of time to get those orders allocated to the correct people before we submit the order to Diamond. So the way this show works and the post that's on Facebook is, if you would like to subscribe to anything that we talk about here, please comment sub with the title. We will add that book to your subscription. That way you don't miss out on an issue. If you would just like to pull a copy or multiple copies of a cover or multiple covers, all you have to do is comment with pull and then the title of the book, the cover that you would like to order, and the quantity that you would like to order. As long as you have that info to us at FOC, those orders are at least guaranteed to get sent to the distributor. There's a lot of different things along the way, from them getting the books to packing them to shipping them to receiving them to coming into us, and there can be damages, there can be shortages, but at least that confirms that the order got to the distributor. So hopefully, knock on wood, when the books show up, they will be allocated to your hold slot. Okay, so sub and pull are the two words that we want you to use. Last but not least, that little line right there that says that covers in bold did not have images at the time that this was written up. So, but I'll show you how you can check for those images throughout the weekend. Because like I said, it's Thursday morning. You've got all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday for the bulk of the comic books. If it's DC, you've got all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday to get your orders in. So let's dive in, shall we? From Dark Horse this week, we have a new series from Mike Mignola that is expanding on the world of Baltimore, the vampire hunter. This is Lady Baltimore, Witch Queens, number 1 of 5. Baltimore's a cool character that Mignola kind of came up with and has fleshed out over many, many years, and it's nice to see him bringing new life to the titular character. That's a pun intended, I think. Once she was Sophia Valk, living in a village overrun by evil. In time, she became Lord Baltimore's most trusted ally. Now, with more than a decade after his death, Europe has erupted with the early battles of World War II, and dark forces are rising again, with witches, vampires, and Nazis on the march. Sophia must embrace the title of Lady Baltimore, but can she fight monsters without becoming a monster herself? Horror genius writing team Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden reunite with stellar art by Bridget Connell, art and colors by Michelle Masden as they return readers to the world of Baltimore. So I'm jazzed about this. I'm in for all things Hellboy. So this is going to be awesome. And I can't remember if the lady that did the cover is doing the interior art, but if it is, it's going to be pretty. Okay? From DC, okay, we're talking about a lot of books that are the first return of these titles since Future State happened. This being one of them. We got Batman Superman number 16 with a brand new creative team. In the aftermath of Dark Knight's death metal, catch a glimpse of brave new worlds within the DC universe. But what are these strange planets? As we delve into the parallel lives of the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight, we'll meet new villains, new heroes, alternate realities, and a trans-dimensional collision that you will need to see to believe. It's the dastardly debut of a cadre of new villains, including Spider Lady and her poisonous webs, Dr. Webb, who sports a kryptonite pendant, and the maniacal machinations of the Unknown Wizard. They could have picked a better name than that, Unknown Wizard. That sounds like a poorly chosen D&D character. I don't know. You've never seen Batman and Superman like this before, so buckle up and get ready for the start of a new era, courtesy of writer Gene Luen Yang and artist Ivan Rice, so it's going to be gorgeous. Cover A on the far left over there is by Ivan Rice. Look at Superman's new suit. That's pretty cool. And cover B right here by me, the variant cover, is by Greg Smallwood. So a host of new villains, all kinds of new stuff going on. Batman and Superman number 16. Okay? Next from DC this week, we've got the debut of a new young, young adult. That's, I was like, young, what does the A and YA stand for? Young adult graphic novel in Catwoman Soul Stealer. Sarah J. Maas's young adult novel is adapted as a graphic novel by comics legend Louise Simonson, that's cool, and artist Samantha Dodge. It's been 2 years since Selina Kyle last set eyes on Gotham City, and now that Batman's gone, Selina is back. Or at least Holly Vanderhees is. As Gotham's newest socialite, she'll put her old talent for picking pockets to new use while rubbing shoulders with the city's finest citizens. But her past is catching up to her, and she is running out of time. Luke Fox, that's the new Batman, has been looking for just the right opportunity to show Batman he can protect the city from Gotham's worst as Batwing. When several high-profile fundraisers are disturbed, Luke's clandestine activities clash with his parents' expectations, as they often do. As a scion of one of Gotham's finest families, he's expected to attend these events with pride. As Batwing, he's trying to stop a new team of villains from ruining his mother's plans. Now he feels permanently one step behind. Will Selina have what it takes to outsmart Batwing before it's too late, or will she be the final victim of her greatest heist yet? 208 pages, $16.99 on FOC this Sunday. But it's adapted by Louise Simonson, so that's cool. All right. Next from DC, again, we've got a new, it's not a new issue, but we've got a new creative team that's debuting with Detective Comics 1034. Randy's excited about this one because Dan Mora, the artist from Once and Future, is doing the interior artwork on this book.
The Future State book, too.
Yes, but that's over.
Yeah, but still, it was good.
Future State may be over, but the present looks tense with the loss of his fortune and manor, the election of Mayor Nakano, and the growing anti-vigilante sentiment in Gotham. Bruce Wayne must rethink how to be Batman or risk being left behind by his own city. To make matters worse, a catastrophic crime wave has taken hold of the city, culminating in a murder mystery that hits close to home. The suspects mount, the clues multiply, and the trail of bodies hasn't ended yet. Eisner Award-winning writer Mariko Tamaki and superstar artist Dan Mora begin an exciting, surprising, and death-defying new chapter of Detective Comics. Plus, in the second and concluding chapter of Demon or Detective, Damian Wayne meets a startling new faction from his family's checkered past. But what is the League of Lazarus? So, new characters all over the place, kids. Cover A on the far left is by Dan Mora. Cover B right here by me is by Mr. Lee Bermejo, killing it as always. Okay? Here's another new number one, Harley Quinn. You better read this closely because we've got a red-hot relaunch on our hands here, and I should know. Harley Quinn here to let everyone know that I got a brand new monthly series here with a brand new status quo. I'm coming back to Gotham City to make up for the sins of my past and help the city recover from the Joker War. But there's no welcoming committee waiting for me, your favorite maid of mischief, and between you and me, some real creeps are working to keep the city broken. We can't let that happen, can we? Rising star writer Stephanie Phillips, who did the Future State Harley Quinn book, my new partner in crime, takes me into a bold new era with her partner in artistic crime, Riley Rossmo, who I gotta say designed a real nice new costume for me. You're not gonna want to miss this one, folks. Cover A on the far left is by Riley Rossmo. Cover B right here by me is by Derek Chu, and it's fantastic. There is a C cover that is a blank cover, which we do not have. But wait, there's more. There's a team variant by Yoshitaka Amano right there on your screen that we will have, and that is going to retail for $15. Standard pull list discounts apply. So, A, Riley Rossmo, B, Derek Chu, C, blank, and this one right here, kids, which is the team variant by Yoshitaka Amano. Harley Quinn, number one, get on board with her new ongoing series. Okay, next from DC, we've got another original graphic novel. This one is an all-ages graphic novel in The Mystery of the Meanest Teacher, a Johnny Constantine OGN. That's original graphic novel. After angering a number of hostile spirits in England, 13-year-old magician Johnny Constantine has to find a way out of the country. Persuading his parents to send him to America, John arrives at the Junior Success boarding school in Salem, Massachusetts. That's going to be trouble. But once there, he finds himself to be something of an outcast, and he is convinced that his homeroom teacher really has it in for him. Worse, he's sure that she's really a witch. Fortunately, John is able to find one kindred spirit at school with whom he's able to form an alliance. Another misfit named Anna, who also happens to have her own developing magical powers. You think that is Zatanna? That would be cool. John recruits Anna in his efforts to uncover the truth about Miss Kayla and expose the meanest teacher's real identity to the world. Joined by a friendly demon named Etrigan, these two amateur sleuths will uncover clues and stumble upon forces beyond their control in a humorous series of misadventures. That sounds awesome. 160 pages, $9.99, a Johnny Constantine graphic novel, The Mystery of the Meanest Teacher. On FOC again this week from DC, I can't remember when it was, but we've already taken orders for it, but I don't know if the orders were, I don't know why they're resoliciting it, but this is another young adult graphic novel, Poison Ivy Thorns. New York Times bestselling author of The Duff, Cody Keplinger, and artist Sarah Kippen reimagine an iconic DC anti-hero with a gothic horror twist. There's something unusual about Pamela Isley, the girl who hides behind her bright red hair, the girl who won't let anyone inside to see what's lurking behind the curtains, the girl who goes to extreme lengths to care for a few plants. Pamela Isley doesn't trust other people, especially men. They always want something from her, something she's not willing to give. When cute goth girl Alice O comes into Pamela's life after an accident at the local park, she makes her feel like pulling back the curtains and letting the sunshine in. But there are dark secrets deep within the Isley house, secrets Pamela's father has warned must remain hidden, secrets that could turn deadly and destroy the one person who ever cared about Pamela, or as her mom preferred to call her, Ivy. Will Pamela open herself up to the possibilities of love, or will she forever be transformed by the thorny vines of revenge? 208 pages, $16.99, Poison Ivy Thorns, original graphic novel, kids. Finally, from DC this week comes Teen Titans Academy #1. Welcome to Teen Titans Academy, packed with both new, superpowered teens and numerous dark secrets. Teen Titans Academy student bodies include Shazam, a new Australian speedster, g'day mate, a trio of Gotham teen expatriates obsessed with Batman, and one member of this first class will become the deadly Red X. Original new Teen Titans, including Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy, take on the role of teachers and mentors for superpowered teens. Their goal? To shape the next generation of heroes. So it kind of sounds similar to what Strange Academy did, minus kind of the magic aspect of it at Marvel. Teen Titans Academy #1. Cover A on the far left is by Rafa Sandoval, who is the interior artist. Cover B, there's buzz about this cover going around the speculation community because we just got the cover for this, I think, yesterday from DC. So that is the B cover by Jamal Campbell right there on your screen. So Teen Titans Academy #1 on FOC Sunday. All this stuff for DC is Sunday. Okay? From IDW this week, we've got Tmnt, The Best of Michelangelo #1. Again, this is just a one-shot that is a reprint of some of the best Michelangelo stories in the history of him as a turtle. It's party time for everyone's favorite turtle, Michelangelo. Spanning decades and publishers, this huge collection features the best stories focusing on the Nunchuck Ninja. $6, just a one-shot, but this, I don't know if they're doing more after this. This kind of wraps up the best of from the TMNT Turtle folks, okay? All right, kids, this was our cover image for this week's post. From Marvel, Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, which means the license for their characters, including Alien and Predator, have defaulted to Marvel now. And here we go. We had a whole month back in December where Marvel was doing the characters versus the aliens. This is it. This is Alien #1. The iconic cinematic terror makes its Marvel debut. Gabriel Cruz gave his life to Weyland Yutani in the case of an alien attack he barely survived, almost literally. Recently retired, Cruz is trying to patch things up with his abandoned son with the help of his friend, a Bishop model android. But his re-entry into civilian life is not going smoothly, and his encounters with the deadly xenomorph are far from over. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Salvador LaRocca team up to tell an all-new tale of the titan of horror and science fiction that has scared audiences for decades. No one is safe, no one is innocent, and most importantly, no one can hear you scream. If you're in outer space. If you're here, like, everybody can hear you scream because we have air, and that's how it works. The main cover on the far left is by In-Hyuk Lee. Oh, here's a question that I have. Can the alien's inner mouth move? Because it kind of looks like it's snaking out of his mouth there on the cover. I thought it was just an out and in sort of, jab kind of motion. I didn't think it could move around. I didn't know that he had that kind of control over it. It kind of looks like it does. It's a good cover, don't get me wrong. I just, the way it's curving out of his mouth is a little unsettling. But anyway, I digress. There is also a black blank cover right here, so you can have somebody use their best glow-in-the-dark yellow ink and make it look like he's bleeding all over the cover or drooling all over the place. There is a David Finch launch party variant that we do not have the image for, or we didn't, at least as of yesterday. There is also, it is not a webhead variant, but over there on the far left is the Patrick Gleason open-to-order variant. That's very reminiscent to me of the original Alien movie poster because you had that green glow on the egg. Right here beside me is the Peach Momoko variant cover that is also open to order. There is a Todd Knock headshot variant that we don't have the image to when I wrote this up last night. And here are probably my favorite two covers. On the left, so Ron Lim, I got to give that dude credit. He churns out covers like nobody's business, but sometimes they look like it, if you know what I mean. Sometimes it looks like it may be a little rushed, but that Ron Lim Alien variant over there, fantastic. But even better, kids, the Scotty Young variant right here. How can you not go wrong with that one? That is adorable. Alien #1. $4.99 and on FOC this Monday. So make sure you get your orders for any of those covers in or subscribe to the series. That way you don't miss out. Okay. Next from Marvel comes Amazing Spider-Man #62 The debut of a new costume, even though technically I think that happens in issue 61, spoiler alert. Kingpin makes it personal with Peter Parker, and New York City itself will pay the price. And another fuse lit more than 30 issues ago reaches its explosive destination. Notice, kids, that up above, the main cover by Patrick Gleason is in bold, because I didn't have that. Marvel didn't have that ready last night when I typed this up. The Man-Thing variant over there is by Greg Land, and it's pretty cool. Spider-Man thing. Giant size Spider-Man thing. I don't know, whatever. He's got plants in his webs, kids. Okay, next comes Black Panther number 24, The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda Unbound Part 6. The Intergalactic Empire has suffered thousands of losses, and still they're coming for Earth. Wakanda Prime is in more danger than ever as Emperor N'Jaka, a.k.a. the Resurrected Killmonger, one of Black Panther's deadliest enemies, returns to face the king who unintentionally brought him to power. Again, up there in bold, kids, the main cover by Daniel Acuna, we did not have available at the time of this writing. Randy, that's terrible. On the far left there is the Michael Cho two-tone variant, and then we also have the Women's History variant showcasing Shuri by Jen Bartel. Last but not least, Joe Quinones turns in a pretty solid cover right there on the far left. That's Black Panther number 24. Okay? Next from Marvel comes Captain America 28, Skull Fracture. That's literally all the information I have for this issue. Skull Fracture. Nothing else, nothing more. Take that with what you will. But the main cover on the far left is by Alex Ross. I'm assuming that Red Skull might get fractured. I don't know. There is a Mech Strike variant by Patrick Brown, but it's in bold, so we don't have an image for that. And then we talked about these earlier this month. We got the two-tone variant by Michael Cho. It's good. I like it. Oh, man. Here we go. All right. We talked about this one after the insanity for Amazing Spider-Man 55 leapt off the face of the earth. From Marvel this week, we have Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, number 1 of 4. Carnage rules. Witness the cerebral chaos caused by Carnage, brought to life by some of the greatest creators at Marvel. But beware, true believers. True to their titular character's namesake, these spine-chilling tales are not for the faint of heart, and presented in black, white, and blood, because that's metal. The main cover over there on the far left is by Sarah Pacelli. This one, kids, is the webhead variant by Mr. Patrick Gleason. Get that dead horse out so we can beat it with a stick, you guys. There's also a very solid In-Hyuk Lee variant right there on the far left. And beside me, in this blank space and noted above in bold, there is a Ryan Otley variant that's open to order, but I don't have the picture, so I don't know what it looks like. Sorry, can't do anything about that. Next from Marvel, tying into King and Blood, we have Scream, number 1, which again is just a one-shot. Scream returns! Andy Benton has faced other symbiotes before, but never has she faced the power and might of Null himself. Does Scream have what it takes to put a dent in Null's symbiotic armor, or is this the end for Scream? Main cover on the far left is by In-Hyuk Lee. The variant right here beside me is by Ryan Brown, and that's pretty solid. And there is also a Stormbreaker variant over there on the far left by R.B. Silva. Just a one-shot, tying into King in Black, $4.99. Okay? From Boom Studios this week comes Firefly brand new verse number 1. A brand new number 1, all new stuff. Here we go, kids. Set 20 years after the events of Firefly, Serenity soars the verse once again with a new captain, Emma, who is the daughter of Wash and Zoe. That's cool. The old crew of Serenity has gone their own way, and now Emma is working to prove herself to Zoe alongside a new crew of castaways and misfits just trying to stay afloat. But when Serenity takes a job from a familiar face, they discover that their new living, breathing cargo is far more than they bargained for, and might bring them into conflict with Alliance once again. Josh Lee Gordon, who wrote the Bad Company one-shot, and Fabian Mascolo begin a new era for Joss Whedon's Firefly, with first appearances of an all-new cast, new adventures, and a shocking new surprise. Main cover on the far left there is by Christina Kalita. Cover B right here is by Veronica Fish. There is also a blank variant cover that we did not have available at the time of this writing. Look at the dinosaur. I'm a leaf on the wind, guys. Serenity, brand new verse number 1. Okay? From Dynamite this week, we have a new... Let's throw all the Vampirella things at the wall. Vampirella versus Purgatory, #1. The unholy alliance you prayed would never happen. It's happening, kids. For countless generations, the fight between good and evil has been fought as much behind the scenes as in plain view. Unbeknownst to the world at large, one force has stood as a safeguard against the potential triumph of evil and the unleashing of the apocalypse, the 36. Now someone is after them, a creature of evil known as Purgatory, and the only thing standing in her way is Vampirella. So with all of existence hanging in the balance, what could possibly bring these two enemies to join forces? Hint, whatever it is, must be really bad. So here we go. It's a buddy cop story. Good and bad first fight each other, but then they have to join forces to fight a bigger bad guy. Cover A on the far left is super solid by Derek Chu. Cover B right here by me is by Carlo Pagulayan. Cover C by, of course, Mr. Joe Linsner. Cover D right here by me is by, I can't remember his name, Simon Kudransky. We've got cover E over there on the far left by Marco Mastrazo. And then cover D, we have double D. Just kidding. Cover D is a blank cover, Vampirella versus Purgatory, issue #1. All right, so that wraps up the features on the new stuff. Here we go. We've got a little section called the Subsequent Print Speculation section. This whole segment is dedicated to comics that have gone on to a subsequent printing that you may or may not be familiar with, but typically second prints, third prints, fourth prints have smaller print runs than the initial issue #1s or whatever issues we're talking about. And as a result, sometimes they start to skyrocket on the secondary market. But if you order them before or at FOC, you get them in your hold slot for cover price, less your discount if you have a hold slot with us. So, from DC this week, first of all, we've got... So this is kind of a second print, but not really. So this is Future State Teen Titans Ruins #1. What this book is right here, it is a collection of the 2 issues of Future State Teen Titans. So it's a reprint, and it's also a reissuing of the variant cover for issue #2 by Dustin Wynn. Hopefully that all made sense to you. So again, it collects both issues from Future State Teen Titans, and it's got a recolored cover that was the B cover for issue #2 by Dustin Wynn. So there you go. It blew up because it's the first appearance of Red X, even though that was in a Teen Titans Go comic. I guess it's the first in-continuity appearance of Red X. But this one right here, Future State Teen Titans Ruins #1, $5.99. Orders are due on Sunday. Okay? We mentioned this earlier. All right, Image has got a whole slew of subsequent prints that are on FOC this week, starting with Crossover #1. Donnie Cates, Jeff Shaw, their epic. We get a recolored version of the main cover for a second print of #1. Crossover #3 is also getting a second print. That's what it looks like there on the screen. Department of Truth #1. They just announced last week that this has been optioned, that the Tinian and Simmons have worked out the details. They sold the property to somebody that's going to develop it. I don't know if it's going to be a TV series or a movie yet, but as a result, they're doing a 4th print of #1. They are doing a 2nd print of #4, and they are doing a 2nd print of #5. #6 came out on Wednesday. So if you're missing this, the trade paperback for the first, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 issues, also dropped this week, which we don't have yet because it's in one of the boxes that's missing. But check this series out, you guys. It is a blast. If you dig that kind of crazy conspiracy theory stuff, it is absolutely fantastic. All right. Haha, #2 is getting a 2nd print. There you go. That is what the cover looks like. They're kind of keeping that weird, almost looks like textured paper that they did with #1 2nd print. That's what #2 2nd print looks like. That's due on Monday. Stray Dogs, you can't see it because I don't have an image, but right below the haha #2, Stray Dogs #1, that came out yesterday. We haven't even gotten our copies yet because they're somewhere in transition, is sold out at distribution level. So #1 is getting a 2nd print that's on FOC on Monday, but I don't have an image for it. And again, I'll show you how to check that later in the show. From Marvel, Taskmaster #3, that blew up because we got the first appearance of the idol of South Korea, Taguchi. I don't know how you say that. I'm terrible. I apologize. But that is the cover for Taskmaster number 3, second print. If you missed out on that and would like a copy, let your LCS or us know by Monday morning. From Vault, Hollow Heart number 1 is getting a second print. That's what that cover looks like. All of our first prints came in damaged. Hopefully we'll get replacements for those. That's kind of a bummer. And that's it. That's all the second prints. But there's a lot, so pay attention, all right? This last segment, before we get to the entire list of titles that are on FOC, is the Who Does Number 2 Work For segment. And this is a little series that spotlights issue number 2s that are on FOC. Maybe you picked up a copy of number 1. Hopefully you've had a chance to read it. If you weren't subscribed to it, maybe you want to subscribe to it now. Maybe you don't, and you just want to pull a copy of number 2 to see where the story goes. This is your last chance to do so. Issue number 2s are always under ordered. They're always smaller print runs than number 1 because a lot of times publishers have ordering incentives. They offer returnability. They offer deeper discounts on number 1, so stores are willing to take a chance. But when I look at sales information, if we aren't moving all the copies of number 1, or at least a good number of them, and people haven't added it to their hold slot, then I cut numbers for number 2. Everybody does, because I can't continue to put money on the rack that's not going to come back to me. So that's what this segment, Who Does Number 2 Work For? From Aftershock this week, we've got Shadow Doctor number 2. This was the true story, crime story from Peter Calloway about his grandfather, I believe. All Nathaniel wanted was a job as the qualified doctor he is, a way to prove his worth to the world. He knew asking for money from the mob was a deal with the devil, but what choice did he have? If he didn't, it meant failure, and that would prove everyone else right. So he was willing to go back to the life that he had left behind. He was willing to sign on the devil's dotted line. If, of course, Al Capone was willing to have him. The main cover there is by Mark Chiarello, Shadow Doctor number 2. This is great because I don't know when we're going to get our copies of number 1 so that I can figure out what our sell-through on number 1 is going to be. But from Image, we have Stray Dogs number 2. This is, I can't remember what we were talking about. It's Silence of the Lambs meets All Dogs Go to Heaven. What was I can't remember what the mashup was. But it's a very cute, very original story about a serial killer who murders people and then takes their pets. So he has this collection of pets there at his home, all of whom's masters have been murdered. So here's number 2. Something doesn't smell right. None of the dogs know what happens behind the door at the end of the hallway. All they know is there's a punishment for sniffing around it. What secrets are hidden in the master's forbidden room? Cover A on the far left is by Trish Forstner and Tony Fleeces, the creators of the story. Cover B, right here beside me, the horror movie poster variant, which I think is Pet Sematary, is also by Trish Forstner and Tony Fleeces. So number 2 on FOC on Monday. It's an interesting read. The number 1, it's tough, man. It's cute. It's adorable. But holy crap, will it tug at your heartstrings. So if you dig kind of murder mystery stuff involving cutesy dogs, it doesn't even sound right coming out of my mouth, check out Stray Dogs number 1 and then order number 2. From Titan, this one hasn't even come out yet, kids. This is Blade Runner Origins number 2, so I have to FOC number 2 before I have any sales data on number 1. Enter the world of Blade Runner 2009 and discover the untold origins of the Blade Runners. A Tyrell Corporation scientist is dead, the victim of an apparent suicide. But when LAPD detective Cal is called in to investigate, he uncovers secret documents revealing a new kind of replicant and a conspiracy that could change the world. The main cover on the far left there is by Angel Hernandez. Cover B, I think he just walked in the door, is by Peach Momoko, Logan! Cover C is by Fernando Dagnino on the far left there. And cover D right here beside me, very purple poster, is by Mr. David Hack. And that's it, kids. That is all of the stuff, all the main number 1s, all of the new creative teams, new first appearances, all of the second prints, all of the issue number 2s. The last thing we leave you with for the show is a list of all of the books from all of the publishers that are on FOC, either Sunday for DC or Monday for everybody else. Okay, so For example, let's take a look. If you're like, I wonder what. Let's see if they have the Alien. Let me get down to Marvel. So it's all broken down by publisher. Let's go to Alien #1. Let's take a look and see if we have the Todd Knock headshot variant, for example. Or let's take a look and see if they have the Carnage Black, White, and Blood Otley variant. So what you're going to do here, kids, is you are going to come down here. You are going to copy this item code that starts with a month. So that's January 21, 0601. We're going to copy that. We are going to come up here. We are going to open a new web browser, and we are going to paste that item code right there into the web browser. Press return. The very first listing that's going to come up is the previewsworld.com listing for Carnage Black, White, and Blood with that item code. Click on that, kids. Oh, image coming soon. So you can do this over the weekend. You can do this all the way up until Monday for all of the Marvel stuff to take a look and see if any of these images have been uploaded. Let's try another one. Let's go back here and let's try that Alien Todd Knock headshot variant. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to copy that one. We're going to come back to our web browser, and we are going to paste that right there in the web browser. First item that comes up, previewsworld.com, Alien #1 Todd Knock headshot variant, 2 for 2. Well, I'm going to call that quits then. But that's how you use that entire list right here. That's at the end of our post there. You can go through at your leisure. You can copy and paste. You can make a list. You can check it twice, just like Santa Claus. And if you're nice, if you're not naughty, send that over to us. You can do it on the Facebook post. You can reply to this video. You can do that on YouTube later on, because this will be posted to YouTube momentarily. Or you can message the store. You can call us 303-484-9103. If we are not your local comic shop, that's okay. Let them know with these same item codes before Sunday for DC or Monday for everybody else. And like I said, barring issues with shipping or damages or shortages, those books will be waiting for you in your hold slot so that you can be excited as a giddy as a schoolgirl on Wednesday when you walk into your local shop to pick up your weeklies. So that's all I have. If you guys have any questions about how this whole process works, please feel free to reach out to us. I like to be as crystal clear as I can about how the ordering process works for comic books. You need to know. That way, we have an open dialogue between the two of us. But again, let us or your local shop know. Sunday for DC, Monday for everybody else. That's it. Make sure you join us tonight. We'll be live again on Facebook from 5 to 7 for our weekly Thursday night stream sale. Lots of goodies. We still have some awesome Star Wars books, Legacy, Knights of the Old Republic, and a bunch of Walking Dead. So if there's something that you'd like to see on the stream sale, send us a message before we go live so that we can do our best to pull some things for you on the show. So that's it. I'm John. Be safe out there, guys. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye. We'll see you.